Now, back to Kevin Durant. For the longest time, starting back when Kevin played his 1 year down in Austin, Texas, at Texas, a school team I've hated because I'm an Oklahoma fan, I became his biggest fan on national TV. Did I ever defend and support Kevin Durant? I just said I've never seen anything quite like this. 7 feet tall, deadly mid-range shooter. So he starts out, first Seattle, then Oklahoma City, of course, and he's on the way to being a 50, 40, 90 guy. What an achievement that was about to be in his MVP season. That was in 2014. But, 50% from the field and 40% from three and 90% from the free throw line. It's just hard to do when you're 7 feet tall. This is supremely gifted. And yet, right away, I'm seeing Russell Westbrook is starting to take more shots. This is back in 2012 than Kevin bleeping Durant. What? Russell Westbrook had the audacity to be so selfish, so egomaniacal, so self-absorbed that he started taking more shots than that guy? It just drove me nuts. So I started to talk about it on national TV back in my first take days on a pretty daily basis because they were the up-and-coming hot young team. How can Russell Westbrook, who can't really shoot, take more shots than Kevin bleeping Durant? And then it happened. This was April of 2012 as they're on their way, little did I know, to the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant, before a game one night in Oklahoma City, calls over the Oklahoman beat reporter before the game in the locker room and just went in on me. The quote that obviously stuck deepest in my craw was, "Skip Bayless doesn't know shit about basketball," said Kevin Durant of me, which appeared in the next day's Oklahoman. And I'm like, what? After all I've done to defend and support you? You want to talk about biting the hand that feeds you? Nobody was a bigger supporter of Kevin Durant than I was up to that point. But that was the first time I sat back and said, this is just weird. This is just doesn't get it. Come on. This is no perspective. I understood that he was trying to defend his little brother teammate, but there's a better way to do it than to completely blast me out of the water by saying, I don't know shit about basketball. Yeah, I do. I know some shit about basketball, Kevin. It just really rankled me. Really pissed me off. Remember what was about to happen after he won his MVP 2 years later, 2014. Then the following year at the All-Star game, remember this? The media gathered, I guess it was that Friday, big press conference. And Kevin Durant told the reporters who voted him MVP, you guys don't know shit about basketball. Huh? Come on, man. Just no perspective, no step back wisdom. Just didn't get it. What a weird dude did Kevin Durant turn out to be? So gifted, so weird. But as you know, he finally chose to leave Oklahoma City, leave Russ high and dry, leave him behind, join forces with the Golden State Warriors. Remember that July the 4th? Man, what a bombshell that day brought us. And I dug back in and I defended Kevin for choosing Golden State because I said he's going into his 10th year in the league, 10th year. And as a source very close to Kevin told me, Kevin just finally decided he was never going to win a championship with Russell Westbrook as his primary decision maker. his point guard because Russ is dribbling it up every single time. Glancing over at Kevin on the wing. I'm open. I'm over here. Can I try? Russ, just kind of thick-headed, just crazy-eyed. See basket, attack basket. Playing 1,000 miles an hour, out of control. Russell Westbrook. And finally, Kevin said, I'm never going to win a championship here. And I defended him, and I said, he's right. He'll never win there. And by the way, I'm digging in on this. I just don't think, because of the weirdness of those three players, that Durant, Westbrook, and James Harden, had they stayed together, I don't think they would have ever won a championship. Tell me I'm wrong, but I'm about to back that up. So then it came to Golden State. They had just blown a 3-1 lead to LeBron and Kyrie. And Steph Curry decided, LeBron's in his prime. We're not going to beat him, me and Clay and Draymond, without that dude, without that nuclear weapon that is Kevin Durant. So they got on a team plane, flew all the way across the country to the far side of Long Island, out in the Hamptons, July the 3rd, and they got down on bended knee and talked Kevin Durant into coming to save them from LeBron James. They needed him desperately, but he needed them just as desperately because obviously not only are they all supremely talented, but he needed the comfort zone that would be created for him by Steph, the leader of that team, and Iguodala, the sort of the 1A leader of that team, the veteran leader of that team, and Clay and Draymond, and then especially Steve Kerr and that coaching staff. The bubble that they could put around Kevin Durant that he'd never had before, because Kevin is not a leader. Kevin does not have any leadership intangibles. Kevin has a hard enough time leading Kevin, let alone to try to lead a basketball team. Not a leader, needed that leadership around him, and did he ever get it? But he continued to take shots at me just out of nowhere, out of the blue, and I would be like, what? I don't get it. And I started to call him the thinnest skinned superstar ever. And is he ever? He's just got paper thin skin. The next thing we heard was he's got burner accounts? Kevin bleeping Durant has burner accounts? The MVP needs to hide behind burner accounts to fire back at critics on the internet? What? You're kidding. That is so beneath him. It is so lame. It is so weak. Thinnest skinned superstar ever? Weird dude, Kevin Durant. But did he ever stand up for himself with the weight of the NBA world on those slender shoulders of his in those finals? And what was it, 2017 and 18? My God, did he ever rise up in those 2 game threes in LeBron's house and just take the games over, take the finals over? Obviously, he had lots of help, but he was the MVP. He was the best player on the floor in those 2 finals. Back-to-back championships and finals MVP for Kevin bleeping Durant. Highly impressed was I that he stood up to that pressure and that expectation and did that to LeBron James. Golden State was not going to beat LeBron without him. They did beat LeBron with him. Kevin needed that leadership, and he got what he wanted. He got back-to-back rings and MVP trophies in the finals, and he became a made man. And I believe after the second finals that he began to lose a little bit of edge, a little bit of hunger, a little bit of drive. But on to Brooklyn he went. As you know, he could have won 3 if he hadn't pulled his calf muscle badly and then torn his Achilles. But after that, on to Brooklyn he goes to team up with Kyrie and James Harden, his old Oklahoma City teammate. He did play that first go-around, one of the great playoff series he ever played. That one against Milwaukee. Remember, toe on the line shot that would have won that game 7, but they lost in overtime. Then the next year, the first time I ever really lost respect for Kevin Durant, he and his team got swept by the young Boston Celtics, coached by Ime Udoka. And in that series, the 4-game sweep, Kevin shot 38.6% from the floor, only 33.3% from 3. In the 4 games, he averaged over 5 turnovers per game. I started on national TV to call him Kevin Durant, after I'd often called him Kevin Durant, because he do rant. You know, he's always ranting about something, mostly about the media coverage. But I lost so much respect because Ime's point was, we're going to go at him. We're going to get physical with him. We're going to rough him up. Dare I say, they intimidated him. They overwhelmed him with physicality. And Kevin didn't really fight back. I was so disappointed in him. On he went to Phoenix, 2023. They did beat the Clippers in 5 in his first playoff series. That was Clippers with no Kawhi, no Paul George, only Russell Westbrook. Ugh. But then once the leader of that Phoenix team, CP3, he was a perfect fit with Book and KD. That was pre-Bradley Beal, obviously. But CP3, you remember game 2 against Denver that year, pulled his hamstring yet again. And down they went to the Nuggets in 6. Then, remember last year's KD team in Phoenix got swept by the Timberwolves in the first round by an average of 14.5 points per game. What? Kevin Durant got swept by 14.5 game? He just played so quietly. Then we roll into this regular season, just passed, and he did play 62 games, put up good numbers. KD-like numbers, 27, 6, and 4, shot 53% from the floor and 43% from 3. But that team this year in Phoenix went 36 and 46, and Bud got fired. Somebody had to go. Kevin's not going to go. Those numbers he put up had very little scoreboard impact. A source I've known for years in the NBA, somebody I trust the most in the NBA, as a guide for some of my thoughts, he texted me and said, Kevin Durant has never been a leader, 36 and 46. So here's a stat you probably don't know. Over the last 4 years, no player in the NBA has a worse playoff record than Kevin bleepin' Durant. He's 6-13 in the postseason over the last 4 years. And since he left Golden State in playoff series, Kevin Durant is 2-4 after those 2 finals MVPs. So I tweeted that Kevin looks like he has semi-retired energy. And it made the case that once he won those 2 championships and the 2 MVPs, it just looked like he just likes to hoop. He just goes out and goes through the motions, has a good time, but there's no real urgency to win basketball games anymore for Kevin Durant. So he fired right back at me, took a personal shot at me. That's fine. So I recently reached out to 2 people in his inner circle, and I said, hey, I want Kevin to come on my show, or I'll go on whatever show he does or wherever. I'll meet him face to face for all the world to watch. He can have as much time as he wants to fire at me. I will respond. I got no answer. Either time that I reached out, I got no response. I know I got the ask in. I know the request was made, no response. Kevin's afraid of me. Kevin would never come on here with me because he knows what would happen. I would hold him accountable. I would challenge him, and he does not want to be challenged. Thinnest skinned superstar ever. Weird dude. Love to talk about it, Kevin, anywhere, any place, anytime, but you're afraid. And you won't because you're afraid. I know he's participating as we speak in a big documentary about his life and times. I think I'm not sure where it's going to end up, probably Netflix like all the rest of them. So it just sounds to me like he's winding down his career. Don't you wait to participate in the documentary until you're about done or completely done? So I assume Kevin's going to play next year at age 37 because he's got another year on his contract at, $54 million. But I just highly doubt he's ever going to have LeBron's drive to keep pushing for 3 more years. A lot of talk about could he be traded? Again, 1 more year at 54.7. Does anybody want that? I don't know. Maybe they do. I'm not sure I would. So Kevin Durant is just, he was so gifted, is so gifted, with just such shaky intangibles. I tried to defend him and support him, and he just ultimately wouldn't let me. But I'm here to tell you, my instincts were right about Kevin Durant from the start, from that 2012 incident in which he said, "I don't know shit about basketball." I did, Kevin. That's why you left Oklahoma City, because what I was saying is exactly why you left Oklahoma City. You weren't going to win with Russell Westbrook taking more shots than you, being the primary decision maker in Oklahoma City. But I realized at the time, back in 2012, that Kevin Durant was just somebody I just didn't want to root for, especially when that somebody was representing my hometown.